It's that time once again for another patch notes extravaganza. 3.23 is here, and the name of it is going to be Wings of Victory. I just had to check that on the wall behind the gentleman there, who you can see sat on the casual couch. And the end, as always, is going to be AJ. In the middle is Matt, who's one of the newer designers, and then obviously we have good old Chuck from the art department as well, who creates all these fabulous, fabulous skins that you get to see every single week. And talking about one of those skins, we're going to start off with a mastery skin this week, just to drum up interest a little bit more.
Jumping right into it.
It's going to be Bacchus this week.
Ooh.
Is the very first mastery to get updated. The only mastery, I believe, so far to get updated. And there he is in his drunken glory so far. I love the fact that we kept his natural style. I'm so excited to see him back to being an alcoholic drunk.
His eyes right here just sell the skin.
That's me on a Saturday night generally.
That's all. That's all.
We're not going to talk about the correlations there, Hindu.
No, we don't. Not for the time
this is the high-res Hindu man skin, right?
It is the high-res Hindu man
Although
skin.
if you needed a costume for Worlds, you know.
I was thinking about it. I'm just not so sure the esports team would be very happy with me casting in this, but I wouldn't mind having a golden stick of meat and a golden jug of wine.
It would be amazing.
Oh, the golden meat leg is nice.
That's the dream.
It looks good. A nice toga. I like it.
And then obviously we should have a secondary version, the legendary version, as it were.
Ooh,
in
of
the
course.
Black and gold Bacchus.
I'm always a big fan of these.
See, I prefer the black if I was going to wear one, because it'll hide stains a little bit more, you know? Just in case.
Yeah, especially wine.
Spill a bit of
which
wine,
you'd be spilling all
bit
over
of meat on yourself as well. You don't want to do that.
And you'd be 4 mastery points higher.
Yeah, rank 5
That
Hindu
is
man.
also true. Or rank 10 Hindu man, as you'll see right about now.
Oh, yeah, that would
See, and then you could just wrap your meat in aluminum foil. You know?
That's actually that's a good point.
It's
a good cosplay thing.
A luminous Bacchus for cosplay at Worlds. That sounds
And
great.
then you'd be rank 10.
He pours wine all over his meat and then eats it.
I mean, you don't want it to get dry. You don't want your meat to get dry.
Of course, and when you're
nothing
swinging
worse.
it around the battleground of the gods for hours on end, it probably dries out a bit.
Yeah. See, with
Nothing
every
worse than
swing,
dry meat.
it gets dehydrated.
Completely agree with you. Well, we thought we'd tease you with a mastery skin to start off with, because this week's skins are fabulous. There's not massive amounts of them. Or in one way, they could be.
Quality over
be honest.
quantity, all right, Hindu
Well,
man?
let's talk about the first one then, which is going to be Chilling Grasp Alpwash.
Look at that
yes.
card art.
That is some of the best card art I've seen in a while. On top of that, it's
So
also...
sick.
He looks very necromancer-esque here.
He is an icy necromancer. Yes, that is the case.
Pretty common fantasy type character.
Yeah, common. I agree with that one. And obviously we can take a look at him in-game as well. Now, you should have a voice pack. I'm just making sure the audio problems that we didn't hear anything in the last one. Hopefully they've got the audio issues sorted for this, though, so we can listen to his voice lines as time goes on as well. But he's amazing. Chuck, what actually goes into the skin?
Well, so it's a complete reskin for Apooch, or Apwatch, whatever.
Is that what you call
Sorry,
it?
it happens.
I'm down.
We all have our own pet names for the
These
gods.
things happen. So yeah, he's got all new zombies. He's got all new rates. He's got all new effects. He's got all new Apwatch.
I like his auto attacks there as well, just being icicles that he's throwing out. That's kind of nice.
The effects look great on this one. And I love how they have a good contrast with normal Upwatch, which is very, green and purple and kind of swampy and organic. And this is just this white, ghostly death.
Yeah, this kind of turned out really cool because he doesn't have the big, overgrown, masky face. So it actually still ended up turning out pretty neat. He feels pretty creepy.
Well, let's go through the abilities then. You can see the one, first of all. Oh, yes. Zombies that run at them, for sure.
I guess some reminiscence of Nutcromancer, but a very different tone.
Yes, very different tone.
Yeah, a much more dark and evil tone.
Yeah, so new zombies as are featured in the card art. They've got some armor, some, kind of leather barbarian.
Icy crust.
An icy crust. I like that one. That's my favorite one you've said so far, Chuck.
Blow
Icy
them up.
crust.
Blow them up.
Blow them up, Pon. Oh,
Nah,
yeah.
I love that effect.
Yeah,
without
it's
even...
really nice. Sorry,
Yes,
Odinbot.
nice, scary
I love the way the
crystallization.
ice just forms. It's almost like a map of the world form in a weird way.
And when it explodes the corpses, you get an even extra little burst of ice. It's nice. Oh, yeah. Rack them up, Pon.
All right, calm down, Pon.
Boom.
Gonna crash the game again like he does every single week. And then we've got the 3 as well. We'll hear the voice pack in a second, but I like that
Creepy
one.
business.
Yeah. Oh, I like the mist coming off that one, Chuck. That looks awesome.
Frosty and dramatic.
And you
Oh,
get a frosty
there's your-
effect on you as well.
Your
Very
Upwatch
nice.
replaced
There's
the
his angry
mask.
ghost face.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna explode those two. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really nice to have Opwatch with kind of a more humanoid face. He always has very, you know...
And you do hear in the background during all these skins today, we do have the Chak announcer pack that's going to be available in the Odyssey as well.
Oh, yeah.
Available in this. So if you hear noises so far, you'll notice it. I'll definitely get Pom-Pom a little bit later on to give you a pentacle and things so you can hear through some of the voice pack lines a little bit more. But there's the ultimate as well, which I think is awesome.
Winter is approaching.
A lot scarier than the acorns, or the...
Winter is approaching.
The chestnuts.
Yes, Chuck. Winter is approaching.
Hey, the chestnuts will kill you just as fast.
They sure will.
Let's not crash the client there, bro.
Come on, Pon.
It's a little bit cold.
He really wants to crash the game.
Man,
his fans expect a, you know,
They do.
EXE
They
has
expect to
stopped
crash.
working.
I'm pretty sure.
Wait, shh. Let's appreciate the icy ghost wind.
All right, sorry, do it again.
Oh, my horrific!
And the chalk.
Thanks, Jack. Needed that one. And that's the first look at the Chilling Grasp, Chilling Grasp skin. However, it also has the voice pack, so we'll have a listen in now.
Ooh. Good walker. How brisk. I am the master chiller. Ice hole. Ice hole.
That's not good.
Soon you will be lifeless.
Is this a team
I
special?
never get lonely.
Yes, it is.
I just reanimate another corpse to come chill with me. What do you get from sitting on the ice too long? Polaroids.
That's a good one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like
that one's
that.
actually pretty clever.
It is.
Over my already dead body.
That's a good laugh, actually.
Yeah, that is amazing.
No, that's the best laugh.
That's a
There,
good
that,
laugh.
that deep one. The actor really did a great job. I love the tone of his voice and the sound of it. It's great.
Well, there's a look at the Alp Wash. We also have as well Jurassic Camazotz
I'm
is the next
so
scan
psyched for this
to
one.
go through as well, and in all his glory here is the new Camazotz. How difficult is it to actually model him and change him this much, Chuck, as well? Because obviously he's had a sort of pterodactyl dinosaur-esque feel to him.
You know, the thing is, when we first came up with Camazotz, everybody was like, well, I'm worried we're not going to be able to skin Camazotz into stuff. And I was like, dinosaur, done. I mean, on the day that Camazotz was born.
But what's your next plan, Chuck? You can't do dinosaur, dinosaur,
we
dinosaur.
have so many good ideas for
We
him.
can't tell you what the other
Okay.
ideas
We do,
are,
though.
because spoilers.
Oh, you're normally good for that. That's why I was trying to get it out of you again. There he
Yeah,
is.
You'll just have
look
to
at
wait and see.
that beast.
I like the colours of the blue and the yellow with him. He actually makes me feel like he's a little bit more like a parrot or something, like a very, very crazy, evil-looking parrot.
Yeah, we originally had the design kind of more historically accurate or to what science can determine for a pteranodon, and then we kind of went with a little bit more of the crazy exaggerated color scheme, which turned out really nice. I mean, he just looks really awesome.
Now, obviously, he does come with new animations as well for his abilities, but to add to that, he has a voice pack that I want to announce now that it will be available for Tuesday, IJ, correct?
Yes.
It's going to be available when this patch is released, but at the moment, still a work in progress, from what I understand.
It is not in the game yet. We cannot preview the voice pack, but
Awesome.
it does have a voice pack, and it is a unique voice pack.
And when you say unique voice pack, what exactly is going to be unique about it?
So fans of Amazon, Hebo, and Quetzalcoatl will appreciate this voice pack because he
Good
is...
update, guys.
Uh-oh, we've got a Steel
do it.
Series... Okay, update.
Make sure.
But the Camazotz Jurassic voice
Brought
pack
to
will
you
be
by that.
a lot of series of noises that a pterodactyl would make.
Okay, so
And not a lot
we
of
can just
direct
make those
voice
now.
effects.
Like,
So, yes.
yeah, I'm not demonstrating you.
So prepare yourselves for that. And if you're going to play
Ooh,
him
look at the
ranked,
essence pool.
I would
That's
urge
amazing.
you to use the God voice pack.
I do like the essence pool on the ground. I didn't even think about that when I was looking at the skin earlier on.
Of course, it's a nice
tasty.
primordial ooze, perhaps. A slime. I want to.
Primordial ooze, perhaps.
I want to. Yeah, I know that's a fancy word. All right. I want to see this screech, yo. Ooh. Yep. I like the color change on that.
Yeah.
You've slain an enemy.
Thanks, Jack. And then we've got the screeching bats as well. Or vampiric bats, as you say.
Vampodactyls.
Yes, they're now
Vampdactyl. Is that what they are?
vampiric prehistoric bird creature.
That's amazing. Like little hummingbirds that are killing them, basically.
I wish I knew more dinosaur species so I could quote some smaller raptor-like creature that it would be, but...
Oh, look at his bones.
Oh, yeah, that's the new mark, the skull,
Oh, that's good. I like that.
to show that you've hit the jungle camp.
And then you've got the ultimate as well.
No, you gotta do the leap.
The leap, yeah.
Because the leap, it's got some sweet bonage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing better than a bit of sweet bonage on the patch notes.
Who doesn't like sweet
Leap
bonage?
right into some sweet bonage with this Camazotz skin.
I like his cracking earth effects. Like this, has a really hard impact, so that feels nice. And there's some bones and fossils flying out.
He looks really scary in the air, actually. He looks really much like almost like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, like that new Jurassic Park movie was scary, man. Those pterodactyls were scary.
Yeah, killing gods and everything.
I do really like the little bones and fossils you see on some of the effects. Uh-oh, Pawn, there you go. Spamming abilities on dev commands.
And then I guess, we shouldn't get a pentakill from Chak just now. I think we should wait for the next game. Because we were talking about bones a little bit. And if you're going to talk about bones, you want to talk about the Doge. And
drink up these so we don't have them all in our way, Pawn.
Should we drink them up first? That's a good idea.
We're getting some heavy
Good job,
stacking
Palm.
of
I know,
essence
and
pools.
it's like so impossible for that to happen in a game, right? Because people never die in the exact same space over and over again.
Ever.
I guess if you get chain CC'd enough, you might. But
unless you play with people at my elo, and then that happens all the time.
I thought you were good.
Me too, but it appears the people at my elo are also not good either, so it's fine. Well, the last skin to show you this week is going to be 4 skins in 1.
Oh, yeah.
4 skins?
Huh. 4 skins in 1.
I'm so excited.
It's time to show you, boys and girls.
Yes.
Because
finally,
3 skins was not enough.
You guys chose it. You guys requested it, and this year's Tier 5 skin, part of the Odyssey, the final item from the Odyssey, will be Demonic Pact Anubis. Now, this comes with 4 unique models, as well as 4 unique FX for each ability, as well as 4 unique voice packs for each form. So it really is 4 skins in 1.
And there's more. There's more. And while we're looking at the card here, I just want to mention that this is just the final state card. The actual card in game is going to animate. It's going to go through his stages. It's going to be like Thor. So there is actually 3 cards that it cycles through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when you log into a game, it's going to change the card every single time?
No. When you
it's got an effect like the Thor
one when it flickers and changes.
It goes from the pilot. Yeah.
So while you're loading, you'll get to watch this cultist transform into a demonic Anubis over time, just in your loading screen. So that's going to be another extra treat for you when you get in game.
Well, let's get into game and see exactly how he looks at a base level, how he's going to begin life in the world of
nice dramatic close-up
of the hood and his staff too. He doesn't look much like Anubis in this one.
Right.
That's for sure. He looks
because he's still in his dark acolyte form.
Yes, and he's a human, which is actually very different from Anubis. So this is a complete new set of animations on this. Just this base skin alone has a ton of extra work put into it.
Now you mentioned as well, AJ, that to me off air, like we're going to see some backstory to this skin as well, some lore that's going to be coming with this one.
Yeah, we're going to. It's not all finalized yet. We're still working on it, but as we get closer to the launch date, we're going to release some other promotional material, some really cool art and animations to kind of convey this backstory and the theme of this Anubis, and a lot of that is actually worked into his voice pack, which is essentially this is some new type of character, a dark cultist who wants to sacrifice everything to gain power, and he goes through some sort of dark ritual to try to attain the power of Anubis, and that kind of backfires on him as he loses all of his humanity and just becomes this wild, reckless, demonic Anubis in the end.
Now, obviously, this is the first form that you'll stay until level 5, so we can have a look at this one. But Chuck, when we look at this skin overall, how difficult is it to make it evolve like we have seen these skins do? Like, do you have to take each one as a base model and work up each one?
I mean, it's a massive amount of work. It's 4 skins worth of work, literally.
Plus some extra.
Yes. We've had all the modelers going through. There's been a different modeler for each stage, and everybody's had to work together, and then we've had to get together to bounce all the pieces against each other. So it's been quite a lot of stuff. And, while the animations share some core components, it's got 4 unique animation sets and then 4 unique sets of effects. So it's been a massive undertaking for us.
I love the wires. You can't really see it very well at rank 1 of that ability, unfortunately, because Mummify only lasts for a short time, but you can see the effects of it just wrapping around there as well.
And similarly with Camazotz, some of the audio in this skin is not quite complete, but most of the art is.
So art and things pretty much complete, however audio, well, there'll be more to show.
Right.
Okay.
So yes, on this lowest level, everything is pretty kind of dark and smoky.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we do some voice pack before we go ahead and evolve him, Pond, because it does change as he evolves.
That's right.
You are worthy.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Anubis has deemed me his
Your
successor,
right tower
and
is
I'll
under
gladly
attack.
accept it. Extraordinary. I am the chosen one. Attack left lane. The power of a god is hidden within me. Soon you shall see the truth.
Oh.
They stole my spells.
They did?
So I stole their life.
Bit harsh.
Slower accurate.
Yeah, so he's very human in this case.
So he starts off as a human that worships Anubis and says, I'm going to be the next Anubis. And
Pretty
Anubis
much.
is going to give me his power. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's hit him level 5 then. And see how he upgrades. Hi there, friend.
There we go. Now we've got something a little bit more Anubis-y here.
So he looks like this looks closest to Anubis I've seen so far, and obviously he's still got the hood on though, which shows that he's still like the humanoid transferred into this.
Right,
as
you
well.
can kind of see his clothes tattering up and his horns kind of emerging, and his armor and weapons are kind of starting to mutate.
Yeah, that was a key point of Chuck's direction on this skin, was to keep a lot of the clothing elements and things consistent between the two, so it actually looks like, you know, a human ripping out of the clothes, as opposed to completely changing his suit each time.
Kind of like he's hulking out the whole time, right?
Right.
As Hulk does the whole thing, he just keeps his pants. That's it.
I mean,
When things go up.
he'll lose more by the end when he's, you know.
I know. Well, maybe
we'll see. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We're going to go show the
does he have
auto attack
pants?
first of all, and then every single one of the abilities once again
Yep, so
does
he
have
gets
some changes.
auto attack magic upgrades. He gets a little bit more
Nice.
flame breath.
Much brighter than the first one.
The hard work of Juan Lejas on the skin.
Juan's killing it.
Many extra hours.
Effects artists, yeah. He's the man.
So it's a little bit lighter on the cast this time around on the 3 as well, with the grasping hands. It's not as deep and dark.
We
But
also
now
have the
this
ultimate
is
now.
the first round of laser beams.
I'm excited. Okay, can you
Kind
kill a
of
target
the,
with it?
Wiggle of it. It's cool.
Now, you actually just move it around as well. You'll see that it actually makes the laser on the ground where the fire burns the ground, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's got a nice fiery effect. I like the sparks flying off him near his head.
It's even better with the Chuck voice pack, I think.
Everything's better with the Chuck voice pack, let's be honest.
Horrific, that's for sure. And there's all the abilities, obviously, at this rank. Now, at level 10...
Don't level 10 yet.
no,
You got a
no,
voice
no.
pack. Voice pack, let's see.
Voice
Some
pack.
of the audio might be still, but it should be different than the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are worthy.
So you hear it's the same lines, but with a little bit different of effects on it.
I am the chosen one.
So he sounds a little bit warped here.
Extraordinary. I alone have the power to consume your soul. When you have this much power, you no longer need energy drinks or caffeine.
He has a different joke on all 4 stages.
Oh, gosh.
He has a different joke on all 4 stages. So then when we go to stage 3, all of his lines are going to change again.
Oh, now also to note, the VXG actually works on all the stages.
Yes, he does have a
So-
unique emote as well.
It's the same
we-
one, though, right?
No,
Or is
it's different.
It changes every time?
Yes.
So he's got an emote with every version. That one, he's spitting fire out of his mouth.
His first one is that we didn't show is kind of a staff magic flourish.
Yes, he kind of does a flourishy staff spin.
This one's a bit of a
But
fire
he, yes, he has a unique VXG for each level of transformation.
No spamming it, Pon. You can't spam it.
Yeah, there's a cooldown.
Wait. Like everybody else will have to. Thank you.
And
very
that'll
much.
have
like we
audio
said,
attached.
Audio is
That'll have audio.
is not complete. The roars on the VXGs are not.
Okay. Well, let's go to level 10 then. Actually, no, have we heard the whole voice back?
We heard a good bit of it. I think
we
we're
heard
good.
some.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to level 10, and we'll see the 3rd form of this case. So the clothes have pretty much been disheveled, and now the hood's gone as well, and the horns are now showing through.
Yeah. So let's pan around him. He's pretty fierce looking.
He's about halfway or 2/3 of the way to demon at this point.
Yeah, he's looking into it.
Yeah, that looks. Wow, the modelers did such a great job on all of his faces. All of the faces on every farmer, just so awesome. The staff is getting more spiky and bigger as he goes too.
Oh, yeah.
He's broken out a lot of the human clothes here. He just has a couple of the wraps and armor pieces left.
Now, once again, the abilities change as well as he levels to this form. So once you hit level 10, which you guys can do, don't worry, you'll hit level 10 at some point. It's not going to be that difficult in the game to get to this level. It's about 12 minutes in the game of Conquest.
His basic attacks have an additional trail added to them.
Beefier fireball action.
Yeah.
Hit him with it, Pon. Why are you hitting the wall? Boom. Yeah, get it, Odin.
Take it over.
Level 1 Odin. Scrubs.
Some more effects on the one.
There's some extra flame waves built in there that I see that look really cool. And he's got all new voice lines on his abilities when he gets to stage 3.
Okay.
Stage 1 and 2 and stage 2 and 4. have similar lines but different effects on them. So you get to stage 3, you get whole new lines and the whole VGS and whole new lines during his abilities.
Oh, I see the ground has changed
we've
color
got
with
some
that
more
one.
demonic, beefy mummify.
Well, you talk about demonic. Look at the ground now.
It's
with a
like
pentagram.
full pentagram now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Obviously, it wouldn't be Anubis without the laser beam.
Of course not.
So now we have the full-blown molten eye laser.
Right. And you know, before you could see the 2 lines a little bit, they were mostly, but now there's a whole extra layer wrapped around it of this like pillar of lava.
And the ground still sets on fire in a worse state than it did before, which is great.
You can try the VXG again. It's a different type of roar. I don't know, I guess it was pretty similar. I'm not sure.
It's similar.
It's similar.
Again, the sound isn't in.
Yeah, the sound is going to be elevation real big time as we go, which is going to be a big deal.
How about the voice pack then as well?
Your soul is strong and pure. Calamitous. Calamitous.
Calamitous.
I am the bane of your existence. I am almost rid of this human form. I have been arrested for possession before, but it mattered not.
That's his joke.
Okay.
He's possessing
Oh, that's a sweet laugh.
Yeah. So all the lines have changed, you know, except for attack, defend. Those are the same, but all the other VGS lines are different when you get to stage 3.
Well, it's time to go to stage 4, I think.
Is it time?
I think it is.
Are we ready?
Are we all ready in chat?
Because the badassness is going to go up all the way.
All right, let's do
excited.
this. We're gonna do it.
Oh, boom. Yeah, that's huge. Now, I need to ask one question here. Is his model still the same in game when he does this, by the way?
What do you mean?
Does his model stay the same shape in terms of, does his hitbox get bigger at all by this point?
Oh, no. Statistically, yeah, we were very careful to make him as big as we could without having problems with either the camera or the gameplay hitbox. But look at that.
He looks awesome.
Yeah, he looks so cool. His hitbox is the same size. He's a little bit bigger, but hitbox is the same.
Cool. That's the first thing the fans will be like, holy, he's huge, he's bigger than Capri. Like, what?
No, yeah. And he's got all these huge demonic wings, and his staff is
I
fully
love how
formed.
these wings don't actually, like, they're more like claws now than anything else than actual wings. It's like he's become like sort of tarantula or like multi-legged.
The staff is like fully transformed to all these huge spikes, and
that's what a demon looks like, boys. But what does a demon, I was going to say sound like, but what does he cast like? That's what we should be saying.
sure.
Look at
these
those
basics.
Okay, Pod, do it now. Do it now. I can't hold back. Just buy the items. Go buy the items. You have to. So I had a chance to test this skin today with aggro, and we discovered that if you go full attack speed items on this god,
He's a ground-pounding machine
he
gun.
is amazing. Now, this is a viable build that we will tell you to go home and buy. You can play it in your ranked games. Don't worry about that one, especially
Don't do it
European
if you're
ones.
on Hindu's team.
That's correct. See, Chuck knows the rules. However, that's amazing.
I wouldn't recommend ADC Anubis. I'm a ranked 10 Anubis, but
everyone's gonna do it.
If you see that coming towards you, just spamming away
you
with
don't
a
need to have full
Fatalis.
attack speed to be afraid of that coming towards you. You're already afraid of Anubis, and then this Anubis, you're going to be terrified.
Just hear that noise as you're walking down the lane and go,
You better
what's that doing?
hope your beads and Angus is up when this guy comes at you, because it's going to be scary.
Now, I was also told before we even go to the abilities that when he kills minions, the minions actually have things happen to them as well, right?
Yeah, so we have the effect system. I mean, you see it on a lot of things, like when you Kraken or you do other stuff that kills minions, they fly through the air.
Yeah.
So we mix that with the kind of burning system that we use on, say, when Agni kills minions and they set on fire. So when Super Demon Anubis kills minions, they catch on fire and fly through the air.
They ragdoll super big time from his abilities and his attacks, and they light on a new type of like burning corpse type there.
That's what the grasping hands look like there. With the flames
So the
just
grasping
trailing
hands
off.
just kind of immolates them, but when you
We need
when
the
you ultimate
the
or
one?
locust them, yeah.
Let's try the locust then. We'll see how the locust
Go find
is.
some minions. All your lanes are pushed on.
Pump on. You stop overextending. I can't get.
Yeah, there they go.
So they get thrown away and they're all singed and on fire as well.
And then
Brutal.
ultimate really hurls them around.
We'll get to the ultimate next. Let's have a look at the two
yeah,
first
let's
of
not
all
get
with
ahead.
the
Let's not get ahead.
Mummify.
Targeters are changing too.
And the Mummify looks even bigger there as well, yeah.
Yes.
You can see his kind of demonic symbol
And that's the roar that you
embedded
just did
into
there
his.
as
Yeah, there's the
well.
That's
VXG
cool.
roar,
Yeah.
which will have a very scary sound attached to it. Get those extra pillars of energy off the floor, those spikes coming up.
Just get stronger and stronger.
Such a liquid magma look to it on the locus of the final form.
And now we get the upgrade to the demon worms and the super demonic pool.
Yeah, do the pool again.
Demonic pool.
It's beautiful.
So this actually, instead of hands, has these like little demonic snake
I noticed it
creatures.
changed. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they look completely different.
Oh, you're right.
And this is just the
Love the ground changing and how strong that looks.
the liquid kind of and spark feel on that ultimate just turned out
And you
so
can kind
well.
of sweep it around, and you get the giant fire and smoke blast there.
Now, you
at the
don't
end.
think that looked evil enough. Let me ask Pompon to do it again and look to the sky. Sanctus Dominus!
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, that is what happens whenever you ult. And everybody, AJ, confirm for me,
Yes.
can see this on the map.
The entire game,
Yes.
all 10 gods will see the sky light
Light on
ablaze.
fire.
That's amazing.
And also, when you VXG, they will see this.
So when you can spam VXG, which
Yes.
comes with the skin for free,
Right.
and you can get the sky to light up in fire.
Yep, everyone in the map, when you will hear you roar and see the sky catch on fire.
They'll hear you roar as well.
Yes, the roar is not in. Remember, we discussed.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So, no competitive disadvantage here. No Anubis ult down because you gotta still pay attention.
Now, it does have recall effects as well. Now, obviously, it's I believe it's a similar recall effect, correct?
Yeah, it doesn't look like Pawn has it equipped, but this is really cool. So one of the things you're going to get when you unlock this skin is you're going to get the Demonic Pact recall effects.
Okay.
And you don't have to use that only on the skin. So you're going to use that on all your gods
I
to
thought it was
show
just
that
him.
you own the tier 5.
It's,
No.
it's an equipable recall effect, just
cool.
like the Chinese Odyssey one or the
SWC.
SWC one.
Awesome.
But now you'll actually be able to play, your favorite god, whichever god, and still show that you're a tier 5 Anubis owner by using the Demonic Pact recall effects.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
All right.
really
I really
cool.
like that.
So wait, spawn a bunch of minions, like a bunch of minions close to you, and then blow them away with the I-beams.
Use the ult.
Buy enough power. Oh, look at them
Oh, shoot.
flying,
flying
bouncing off walls.
That's cool.
I like how they bounce off the walls.
For all you people at home, this build is available for you to play with, as well as ulting minion waves is a wise idea as well,
Yeah.
just to make sure you can show off those
saw-
cool effects.
You
to
saw
all your
how
friends.
fast he killed them with this build.
If in doubt, ult the wave. That's the key here that we're learning
I
today.
guess you don't need boots, and that's kind of cool.
this skin's awesome.
Oh, Pawn, take a pause back there in the middle.
What was that? I
That's
saw
a nice
that too.
little thing we're getting,
Oh, the World Championship, huh?
Yeah, gearing up.
When's that happening?
Oh, I believe sometime in early January.
Oh, really?
It's kind of a big deal.
Oh,
I guess
is
you'll
it?
be invited.
I don't know. I might be busy that week. We'll see. I love this game. I love everything about it. But what I'd like...
That's his idol? Oh, that was sick.
the idol. That's cool.
You're going to find little things like this in the skin. I mean, I'm sure we'll forget
Yeah,
something.
I'm reading the
but
patch notes now. It says, and tons of hidden features such as the final form ultimate changing the entire map skybox, which is what you saw a little bit earlier on with the flames coming down. But there is other things hidden in here that even I haven't been told about yet, and I'm still
Yeah, there's
discovering,
everybody really. There was lots of little attention to detail. I know AJ put a lot of attention to detail in the voice pack, and we put a lot of detail in just making sure that all the forms were consistent with each other and that everything turned out really awesome. And
That's a little out of character for him, but it's awesome.
No, it's
but
perfect.
Yes.
I
it's
believe this is also going to come with
actually.
a music theme.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Similar to Thor, which I believe
Oh,
is
it does say that, yeah.
re-equipable to other
I mean,
games.
basically, it's basically every feature that we had that we could put into a skin or have ever put into a skin, plus additional features we have not done before, is all just packed in here.
Even his footsteps and his jumps are super cool effects.
Well,
I mean,
what I'll do really quick before we come out of the skins and things, Pop, do you want to spawn a couple of bots for us so we can just hear that Chuck voice pack a little bit more? Because I know a lot of fans at home would like to hear that, especially after the one that we missed off the time before previously with the Law Lady. But this time, I promise you I'm going to get
we heard
in
some
detail.
good Maya-rifics earlier just while
did.
he was testing. More Odins.
Come on, Pon. That's one Odin.
He's doing it.
That's two Odins, Pon.
No, there's 4 on top there.
Oh yeah, pentakill! Pentakill, it's Boom, shakalaka!
Boom, shakalaka.
Gotta have that.
And the Anubis skin is doing his kill streak lines here too, which
Yeah, at
are
the same
all
time.
pretty badass. So do some voice pack. I don't think we heard this final voice pack yet.
That's
true.
a good point. I forgot
That's
about
true.
that. Sorry.
There are so many features.
Yeah, the grunt.
Your
The grunt.
soul is strong and pure. I am the bane of your existence.
He's got a lot of extra echo.
Camazotz. I am the bane of your existence. There is not a single worthy one among you. Your souls are mine. Do not fear your judgment. I promise I'll go easy on you. Do not fear your judgment. I promise I'll go easy on you.
Oh man, I'm gonna play so much Anubis.
I already play so much Anubis, and I'm going to play so much more Anubis. Can't wait for it.
I'm looking forward to watching more build attack speed in my games and ult minion waves.
Well, I look forward to being the opposite side of Anubis.
I'm looking forward to the benefits of it. Overall, and that's it for the skins we're going to have this week.
Wow.
Thank you, gentlemen. We may be back on a little bit later on now. Yeah?
What?
Chad's coming back a little bit later on.
What's coming back?
You guys?
Yeah.
Come back a little bit later.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we'll be here.
Some more?
Oh, right.
Yeah, we got other cool stuff.
You sure?
Yeah, definitely.
We'll find out. But it's time for items and god balance now as well. With my, I believe it's my good friend Pompon. Is Pompon available?
He's got to be here.
Am I here? Am I not here?
Yo, we hear you.
You sound so
Pod,
distant.
where are
Where
you?
is he?
Ambient voice.
I'm off in like the paladin set, I think.
Pon Pon. Save us.
I'm somewhere else.
Save us, Pompon.
Thou hast buff and
Hello.
nerfs.
Hi,
There
boy.
he is.
Hi,
Yo.
God, don't you look dashing all stood up?
I know, right? I'm actually standing for once.
I didn't think you had
In a
legs.
remote
I-
and
I
futuristic
normally
hellscape.
don't.
I've never seen you sat down. So I've never seen you not sat down. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Well, let's go to the patch this week, Pompon. Are you ready for this?
Mostly. I think
Me
so.
too. Me too. Well, it's going to start things off with items, and we'll start off with Celestial Legion Helm, which is going to have a physical damage protection decrease from 90 to 80, and increased cost from 2,300 to 2,400. Why are we nerfing this item?
So Celestial Legion Helmet did a lot of things of enabling a lot of mage characters, especially mage ADCs who want to just be able to box effectively to get a lot of protections really quickly, a lot of power really quickly. We like that, but it was a little bit too much. So we're toning down the protections it gives, giving a little bit of cost increase, just to make sure that if you're investing into it, it's not going to completely win you a situation.
Okay, well, the next one on the list is going to be Hydra's Star and Hydra's Lament here, Pompon. Now, we're going to be touching the cooldown reduction on both of these items this week. Obviously, the Hydra's Star is going to go from 10% to 5%, and the Hydra's Lament is going to go from 15% to 10%. Why are we changing these?
So I guess if you have been watching basically any competitive, or like a lot of people, they've been building a lot of Hydra Star and Hydra's Lament. Because it gives a lot of mana regeneration, we got a power bump on it. It's now very cost-efficient item, and so we like that. But it was also giving 50% CDR for its very, very low cost, and especially for just the tier 1 at 1,000, it was, or tier 2 at 1,000, it was giving 10%.
Okay.
And that was just a little bit too efficient. It was a little bit too easy to build into, and so we're just toning that back down. You have to invest a little bit more money if you want CDR because it's such a powerful stat.
Now, next on the list is going to be Obsidian Shard. What's the reason for the change with Obsidian Shard before we go into it?
Obsidian Shard is kind of the go-to pen item for mages, but there's other options available, especially Spear of the Magus, and that actually gives more pen in a lot of situations, but even the characters who could make benefit of it, like Agni with his passive tick, Anubis, for example, they'd actually still opt into Obsidian Shard just because it gave so much power and pen off the bat on the first hits. So we're just toning that down a little bit, toning down Obsidian Shard just a hair, just to make sure that if you are a character that can make use of Spear, or you find a situation where Spear is good, it's still an item you want to build into instead of just going Obsidian Shard.
And in that case, Obsidian Shard is now going to go from 70, so it used to be 70 power, it's now going to be 60 power this patch. We'll see how that changes it and see if we see a bit more Spear of the Magus.
Yeah.
That's it for items, though. Pom-Pom, God balance this week. Is it in order?
Ooh, I am not sure. I didn't even check.
What's your favorite change, Pom-Pom?
It's the last one
The
on
last
the
one?
list. I know it's last on the list. I don't know if it's alphabetical order.
It's my favorite one on the list, too, is the last one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one just to see what people do with it.
Me too. Well, we'll start things off with your favorite, my favorite, and everyone's favorite at home, Erlang Shen.
Yep, Erlang Shen is going to get a nerf.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No.
we did it.
We don't do that.
We did it.
Why are we nerfing him, Pom-Pom?
Well, he was a character that has a lot of potential to box very effectively. He's very aggressive. He can also be very defensive. And we've seen him be very good in especially competitive setting where his ability to box, his ability to poke with a pin is very effective. And we're just looking to make sure that if you're going to play an aggressive style Erlang Shen, you're committing to that playstyle. If you're going to be a defensive Erlang Shen, you're committing to that playstyle. And the changes we have here kind of do that.
So the changes are going to be spot weakness. His first ability is no longer going to ignore basic attack movement penalties. So he's not going to get Fatalis effect from that.
He won't get Fatalis effect from that, but he will get
I was going to say, however, on 72 transformations, using the Mink form will now allow you to ignore basic attack movement penalties for 5 seconds. And we've reduced the Turtle Shield and Mink attack buff duration from 6 seconds to 5 seconds.
Yeah, so the big change there is, again, if you're going to be aggressive, you got to use Mink form to get that free attack speed movement penalty reduction. Before, you could just pop that on spot weakness. You had it. It was really effective. You could chase. You could chase into people when you saw an opportunity. You can turtle form knock up and keep on them. Now, if you actually want to be able to keep on them way more effectively, you have to commit to using Mink instead of just using turtle.
Okay. So it's a choice between knock up or having the Fatalis effect, basically.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Much.
Cool. We'll see how that one works out. Next on the list is Hades.
Yeah, Hades is getting love.
Love? Is this just a love patch?
Well, this one's much more of a make Hades feel good again.
Okay.
So yeah.
So let's see exactly what's going to happen here. First of all, Blight, the duration increased from 5 seconds to 8 seconds, first of all, so we did a 3-second increase there. As well as Shroud of Darkness no longer knocks back minions. And finally, the Pillar of Agony increased protection buff from 40 scaling to 80 is now going to be 60 scaling to 80. So lots of Hades love here. What does it mean for the average Hades player, though, Pom Pom?
So if you're Hades, especially in the laning phase, you're kind of always at this weird point where you're like, how do I want to actually kill the wave? How do I want to apply Blight? Do I auto-attack? Well, if I auto-attack and then try and move close and I get interrupted, I lose Blight on my targets. If I try and use Shroud of Darkness, it can actually put the minions away from each other. So now it's just a lot of making it so that Hades players have more effective control in the lane. They can now basic attack and have the Blight on for a lot longer, so they can kind of bait out things. When they use their 2, they're going to be guaranteed that the whole wave gets hit instead of pushing out the wave so that nothing gets hit. As well as the ultimate especially is going to be a thing where if you're kind of even or ahead, a strategy people can use is they can just burn you down while you're in your ultimate because you're a stationary target and you have to cancel it. Now you'll actually have additional protections, especially early on, and that will allow you to stay in it a lot more. So if you actually catch people turning and just burning you, is not going to be as effective of a strategy unless they have some serious damage on you.
Okay, that's a little love for Hades, and we'll see how much that brings him back in towards the meta. So got someone in the meta right now, Jing Wei. Pom Pom, the plan with Jing Wei. Obviously, we've been looking at her for quite a while now, and we've been looking at tuning things up a little bit. Yeah,
so before we go into this, I think there's kind of 2 trains of thought how you want to adjust Jing Wei is, do we hit her passive or do we hit parts of her kit that enable her to be really safe? And her passive is something that went through a lot of design iterations. I know a lot of designers worked on it really heavily, and they like where it sits now, and they'd rather see stuff like her safety removed from her kit rather than just the passive, because that's such a unique identifier for her. It's something that she's really unique at doing, and so we want to keep that strength and then kind of balance around the other things.
Okay, so the other things that are going to get changed in this patch, first of all, is going to be explosive bolts. You are not going to get crit at rank 1 of this ability anymore. You're going to have to invest at least 2 points in this ability to get crit. It's going to scale from, instead of 5 to 25, is now going to be 0 to 20 as you scale up this ability.
Yeah, this also does 2 things real quick. Is it curbs her late game a little bit, where her late game was really effective. Having 5% less crit is just a hit to that. As well as in the early game, especially in the early trades, she's not going to get a free crit and gain control of the lane very quickly. She has to at least get 2 points into it if she wants to do that.
Okay. And then the other thing that's going to get changed as well is her agility. The cooldown has been reduced on this ability, I believe. From 20 to 12 is now going to be 20 to 16. So at the later stages of the game, it's going to be a little up, less off.
Yeah. So if you're a Jing Wei player and you want to actually be positioned well, you have to be very careful because you might use your agility, think you're going to be able to use it again. And now with a longer cooldown, you might get caught out without that being up. So it's, again, taking away from her safety just a little bit there.
Okay, we'll see how that works out for Jing Wei as well. And next on the list, and just to be clear, it's going to be explosive bolts is the crit chance and agility.
We didn't hit explosive bolt twice. That should be agility.
Yeah, it should be explosive bolts and agility is the second one. They got changed. The 3 got changed to having a longer cooldown at the later stages of the game. Okay,
Not
guys?
explosive bolts.
Not explosive bolts that it says on the patch notes that I can see. Yeah. Good job, Pon.
I try. I sometimes miss things. Sorry.
Sometimes.
Hey, I think I got everything on Anubis there pretty well.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, see?
Maybe you did something right. Kepri, next on the list. Kepri is having his health almost returned back to where it was, I believe. 460 health at base is now going to be 490 health. Pom Pom, why are we changing it back?
Yeah, so Kepri had kind of a tumultuous release where he was very strong and he kind of nerf. He was very dominant, especially during Season 2 and stuff. And those changes now don't necessarily reflect where he currently is now. We have more Guardians, we have a lot of item changes, the meta has shifted, and so he's kind of fallen on the wayside of other Guardians. And we just want to make sure that there wasn't anything that was kind of really holding him back. And one of the things we noticed was, yeah, we did nerf his health, especially because of the passive shield that he got, but that was also really far outside of like where the Guardian standard kind of is. And so we're just bringing that back up, so he's going to get a little bit more health in the early game. He's not going to be so low, and he's going to be a little bit better of a Guardian.
Okay, next on the list is going to be Nox. And a lot of people, I believe, have been asking for this one, which
this is a pretty good change.
Flame of the Night. Nox's candles will now only be blown out by god damage. So that's actually going to make her a little bit more viable because of that, I guess.
Yeah, so the big thing is if you were a Nox player, especially in the early lane, and you saw an opportunity to land your 2-1 combo, you would often not do it because like you would not get any of the power, or you'd land it and you wouldn't benefit from the power because the minions would immediately take away all of your power. And so now you're rewarded for landing those combos instead of having the minions punish you.
Okay. Next. There's quite a few this week, actually. I'm going next. Osiris on the list.
Osiris is on the list.
What's the main focal point of buffing Osiris this week?
Osiris is a character that you either build very aggressively or defensively, and in this kind of change is targeted towards both of them, where if you build really aggressively, you're supposed to be using your passive, your fragmented, to kind of mitigate damage. And in the late game, you're also using that to make sure that your defensive stats are really, really potent. But there was one target that wasn't really there, and that kind of was magical damage. You weren't able to shred any magical damage off. He was very anti-physical. We were giving him a little bit of anti-magical, not as much as the anti-physical, but just a hair of magical protection on his passive now, so that he can actually get into the late game fights. If there's a mage, he's not going to immediately blow up. He has that defensive choice if he uses ultimate or has his full passive on. Okay,
so the fragmented passive is now going to provide Osiris with 1% magical damage mitigation per stack.
Yeah, and the physical is 2%, so this is half the physical power.
But it just gives us some defense against magical a little bit more. Okay. Next on the list is Terra. Oh my gosh, are we nerfing everything that everyone's been complaining about?
Yeah, Terra's getting on the nerf too.
Well then, Terra's nerf this week is going to be, instead of the scaling cooldown that we had, where we changed it there, it's now going to be 110 seconds at all ranks now. So it's not going to lower in cooldown as the game goes on.
Yeah, so this one is really kind of more towards what we saw her do in competitive, where every 90 seconds, especially in the late game, you can do a lot of things to save your team, just across the map for free. And that's something that's kind of unique to her, but also shouldn't be happening too often. Athena, I think, had the same thing where she especially could get into late game team fights or early game team fights and teleport very quickly. And so it's limiting her ability to protect your team all the time.
Okay. Well, second to last God balance this week is going to be Toph. And Toph, obviously, he's just come out Pon-Pon for the most part, and we've let him sit there for a little while now, but what's the reason for the changes?
So we talked about this a bit on the last show, which was he was underperforming, and that was also because he's a very difficult god. He's very position-oriented. A lot of people started to learn him, kind of learn what his ranges were. And we watched that develop a little bit, and we have kind of decided that, yes, he's still weak. We were looking at stats, we were looking at people who were doing really well with him, and even then he was underperforming. And so the big thing is we're not looking to increase his damage directly because we don't feel like that's the right place to touch him.
Okay.
The more appropriate thing to do is make sure that players can actually land his abilities more consistently, make sure that there's still opportunity for people to dodge if they need to, but it's not so easy to dodge, it's not so easy to miss, and reward Thoth players a little bit more with being in good positions.
Okay, so Hieroglyphic Assault, first of all, is going to get an increased projectile speed by 20%, first of all, so it makes him land a little bit easier. Evade and Punish is also going to have the radius increased from 3 to 4, and not only that, the Glyph of Pain, the mana cost is going to go down. It used to be 60 at all ranks, it's now going to scale from 25 at the starting rank all the way up to 45 at the max rank, so even at the top rank, it's still going to be cheaper than the base version that we had before.
Yeah, that's kind of his big gimmick, and making sure that he can use that gimmick often. He's not going to be really limited on mana. He's going to be more limited on mana when he uses all of his abilities to interact with it. It was kind of important for him.
There's only one more change, Pom-Pom.
Yeah, there's one more, and this is the last one I was talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I've also been in order.
I'm just putting this back on, ready for the next patch.
Oh my gosh. I'm surprised we still have that.
Because Tyr is now going to be the law. You ready for this?
It's going to be absolutely awesome.
Tell you what, Pom-Pom, how about you read out what this change is?
I have to squint down at the bottom of my screen, but I can do it.
You could just say it out loud because you know what it is.
Okay, well, it's basically his stance switch is now available at level 1 base. It's the same as Hell stance switch, Uller stance switch. You just now have access to it immediately. You have a rank 0 version of it. So yeah, you can switch stance level 1. You can get
here.
2 cleaves, a fearless charge if you want. You can do it.
So Tyr now basically has the Ul effect is the best way we can really put this. Is like when Ul comes into the game, you automatically have the stance change. You don't get any benefits from having the stance change not leveled because
you
you
don't get any
bonuses,
power defenses.
but you can still change stance for free.
And the big thing here is he was often limited, especially in the early game, of he had to choose, do I just keep pumping points to my 1 and my 2, or do I get access to all my other abilities? And you have to spend a level doing that. And that can put you very far behind. Especially also, he's limited by mana, so we basically wanted to make sure that he had access to these. He didn't feel bad for spending a point. He could choose to level up what he wanted to and compete in the laning phase. But if he does really want to be using all these stances immediately, he's going to be paying a heavy mana cost for that.
Well, we'll see how it works out for Tyr in the early game as well, or even all stages of the game with that new effect for him. And that's the end of the patch note segment in terms of item and god balance. Pon, your favorite thing?
I think it's Tyr. I'm really interested to see what Tyr does. He's actually been like underperforming a little bit. Okay. So this also helps bring him up a little bit. In competitive, he kind of comes in and out. And so just seeing kind of where he falls after this change, what people learn about him, how they do the laning phase and all those matchups, because all those matchups are pretty much going to change. So it'll be really interesting to see how people use Tyr.
Well, Pon, it's been a pleasure as always, but I'm sure you'll be back in a second to give us a little bit more camera work for what we're about to go into next.
Yep.
Which is going to be with my lovely guests once again on the casual set with AJ, Matt, and Chuck, because the latest god is on his or her way.
Her way.
It's her way here. And that latest
Is anyone else imagining Pon running back to the desk?
He is, he is. And he's like, oh no, I'm going to
I think it's actually right there, so he just like sticks one step over, but...
So, Matt, you were one of the designers
Sorry,
involved in making the latest god that's going to be joining the battlefield this week. It's Nike or Nikkei or...
Nike, someone in the studio said it should be pronounced Nikkei, but Nike.
Nikkei. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's cool. What is the story of Nike before we even go into it? What's the background?
Yeah, so there's not much for her out there because a lot of stories were actually passed down through oral tradition or maybe were destroyed in the process of history. But what we do have is that she was the goddess of victory, so she would give laurels to people who were victorious in wars and battles. And she was also seen as a close associate of Athena. So being next to Athena, she got to, you know, become very wise in commanding battles. And I think she gains her fame mostly from participating in the war against the Titans with Zeus.
Okay.
And so they attribute the victory of that war mostly to her. And so because she won the war for them, she got to be Zeus's right-hand goddess.
Now, on top of this, obviously, Chuck, we can see the Arcada on the screen here, but what's the overall like arc and design here? Is she going to be what's her role first of all, Matt? I guess
her role is going to be a warrior.
A warrior, and
she's focused mostly on being more aggressive. You know, disrupting the backline, being in the enemy's face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how she does that. And Chuck, obviously, like her design is all like focused around that sort of theme.
Right. So this was another case for us to have kind of a strong female warrior. But she has this very angelic component with the wings. And, you know, so we wanted to kind of work her into this kind of paladin-esque, inspiring leadership figure, as opposed to Bologna, who was the last kind of tough female warrior who's just kind of real murdery.
Angry.
Yeah, angry. That's a better word. So we wanted to get something that was a good appearance and personality difference to really contrast Bologna while kind of having some of the same combat equality. So if you think of it as like Athena's on the left, Bologna's on the right, Nike is like in the center.
Kind of in the center.
Yeah, so a bit of both of those. That makes some sense. I can understand that one. Well, let's have a little look at as she moves around the screen for you guys at home. Matt, first of all, why don't you tell me a little bit about her first thing we're going to mention, which is her passive.
Yeah, so her passive it's actually really exciting. We've never done anything like this for passives in SMITE and abilities in general. So you can think of it like an achievement that your team needs to work towards in the match. And so she has 3 goals that she sets out for your team. And by accomplishing each goal, you get increased power and movement speed. You get a stack of it.
Do the goals change each game, or are they the same goals every game?
They're the same goals every game.
Okay.
But they are kind of like segmented so that you can acquire them in different ways. You don't have to do it in a certain order. You can do it all like separately if you need to. So our first goal is to kill 200 minions as a team. So
10 gods, I believe, is the first one.
They're not in order.
Oh, they're not
in order. It doesn't matter which order.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, go on.
So he just killed 10 gods.
So 10 gods is one of the goals.
Right.
Another goal is to kill 200 minions as a team.
Okay.
And the final goal is to have at least 2 allies that are level 20. So you'll see that when you achieve one of the goals, you get a laurel on your head, which actually shows up on every character as well on your team.
Every character on your team gets this as well.
Yes,
you get a little
correct.
laurel to let you know that you're getting this buff or bonus. What you're going to be getting from this?
And all of the goals are team goals.
They're all team goals.
So you don't need any kills as Nike. You can have your mid laner get all 10 kills, and then your whole team gets the laurel
So
buff.
it's kill 10 gods as a team gets you 1 laurel. Then
Correct.
killing 200 minions as a team gets you 2 laurels overall, because you've already got the first one. And then the last one is at least 2 allies at level 20. So that does that include you if you're playing as Nike?
Correct.
So you're 1 if you hit level 20, and then you need 1 other person to do it as well.
Yeah.
And you'll get all 3 goals achieved. But what do these goals actually do other than give me a little laurel on my head?
So they give, like I said earlier, bonus power and movement speed, and stacks up to 3 times. So over the course of the game, you'll notice that your strength slightly ramps up over the time that you're playing.
So power and movement speed from the passive as you just continue playing the game, pretty much.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And the fact that it influences your whole team as well is pretty strong and can come into effect at any game, at any time as well. It could come in differently based off how well you perform as a team, I guess, as well.
Correct.
And this kind of represents Nike's leadership team qualities.
Right, she's like motivating everyone too.
She's an achievement giver. Like that's basically what that's why there's no achievements in this patch this week, guys, if you didn't notice. It's because basically Nike took 3 achievements and put them all in their own kit.
And we just thought that this fit her character and her kit so well. I mean, this is during the early brainstorming. The esports players, the dev team, everybody was like, this is a great idea, great ability. We were super stoked about it.
Now, you actually did see her auto attack a little bit there. I was going to ask you to talk about her first ability first of all, but you can see she has a cleave attack, it seems, on her hit chain. Correct. This time around as well. And the cleave attack, what's the actual ratio there? Is it...
her timing is 1-1. Yeah. So she's doing a full 100% damage on her first 2 cleaves, and her last one is 1.5.
Okay, but the first 2 are cleaves, and the last one's
is a single
target damage. Okay,
yeah.
I think that's a big thing because most of the cleave attacks that we have, the sort of combos that we have with the attack chains, generally end with the cleave, not start with them.
Right.
And this time, a little bit different.
Yeah, it's the first time we've done that, and it really fit her weapon super well as well. We liked it the most. Like, it looks really good while she's swinging around this kind of halberd pole arm weapon.
Now, you mentioned as well, Matt, that she goes, she's going to be someone that goes to the back line and deals, looks to disrupt the back line. Is she very CC heavy, or is she more focused on damage, or?
I would say she's more focused on damage, kind of like feeling like a Cyrus in a way where you kind of use your autos to stick to people, but she has abilities to help her get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, talk us through the first ability then, which I believe is called Rend.
Yes, that's correct. So her first ability, Rend, it's a line attack, and it's a channeled instant line damage. So she's going to swing her weapon and deal 2 line attacks straight down the middle.
Okay.
And this is kind of like Wukong Cudgel or a lot of other things, but it channels for the 2 in a row. It's going to deal increasing damage, and it provides Matt, remind me, it's the protection shred?
Right. So if you hit enemy twice,
right,
you break the armor, shredding their protection.
And it has to be the same enemy.
You have to hit the same enemy twice in a row to get the additional protection shred. And you have full control of the movement. You can aim and turn this in any one direction, but if you do hit the same target twice, you're going to get the protection shred.
Okay, so the first ability is just literally like deal damage and then deal damage again on the same area, or move location and reposition, basically. It's almost like Amaterasu Ultimate is what I'm thinking, the first attack and then the second attack of the ultimate, where you can reposition afterwards.
It's more like, yeah, well, it handles a lot like that, and but it was kind of more like old Guan, I believe, where you could stack hits on the same target. Amaterasu just needs to hit any target to progress her combo. Nike wants to really make sure she's focusing on the same target, and this speaks to what Matt was going for with her general archetype, is she really wants to get in the back line and focus somebody down and focus more on dealing damage and preventing damage to herself, more than doing a lot of CC.
Okay, well, the second ability that we're going to talk about before we continue with this one, I guess it should be obviously brought up now. It's going to be called Plan of Action. And Matt, tell me a little bit about what this does, because from what I understand, it's going to empower the other abilities.
Correct. So let's start with the stuff it gives. So it has a passive effect. It just gives HP 5. That helps her in her laning phase. Okay. When she needs that passive HP 5 to stay in lane, because she doesn't have a lot of other abilities that help her compete with warriors. And then when you press it, she gets a golden effect, and that's people know, like, okay, she's going to do something special. And what that is it augments her first, third, and fourth ability to do something special.
Okay.
So should we go backwards and
We should go back to the
one?
first ability now. Then, now that we know this one, we should have started with this one in the first place. AJ, what happens with the first ability then? Once it's
So now you're going to get a third strike on Rend.
Oh,
It's going to completely different animation too. You see, you get an extra swirl at the end, and I believe even the first two are adjusted slightly while she has her stim active. It's going to do additional wave of damage by hitting with the third strike, and if you hit with all 3 strikes, there's another bonus effect. You hit the same person all 3 times.
yeah, you get a disarm,
They get disarm,
on the
yeah.
last attack.
Oh, we're one-shotting these Odin bots.
Pom Pom brings in level 1 bots all
Nerf
the time.
pawn. You
But-
can't disarm the ogre.
So you have
No,
to
you
empower it, and you have to hit the same target 3 times in a
3
row to
times.
make sure it disarms as well. It can't be
Correct.
different targets, and the last one gets disarmed.
No.
It's always the same target.
So the important thing to note here is that if you hit the same target twice, you still get the protection shred. So the third hit will benefit from that as well.
There it
Gotcha.
is.
So you get protection shred plus the disarm.
So it does more damage on the last hit because of that as well.
Yep,
And then obviously,
correct, yeah.
on top of that, the plan of action does give a power boost as well, I believe, when you activate it as well for the next ability used.
Yes,
which is
so it
awesome.
adds flat damage to every ability or next ability that you use, and so the one will actually get that instance 3 times because she's using 3 different attacks.
Of course, yeah.
And plan of action is super unique. We haven't done an ability really that stims your other abilities and kind of changes how they work. And I want to mention too that when you activate plan of action, it's the next ability you use that
So you
will
can-
be stimmed. So you need to choose.
But
You
it
can't just stim and then go 1, 3, 4 real quick.
Can you
gotta-
activate it and hold it, though? Well, that seems to be what
Yes,
you're doing here,
you can
right?
hold it for as long as you want, and it won't go on cooldown until you use another ability.
And it looks
So-
it looks like plan of action is pretty cheap. What's the cooldown at base?
The cooldown, I think, is around 16 seconds. It scales down, I believe, as well. So if you level into it, you can
use
use
it
it
more
more
often.
often.
Yeah, leveling up that ability gives you increased power and increased HP 5, obviously just passively, and then obviously it lowers the cooldown as well, so it's a very good ability to be looking at maxing maybe second.
And new effects on your other abilities, not just increased damage, but completely, new things on the other abilities, which is really cool.
AJ, that's enough about plan of action. What about the third ability?
Yeah, let's see some Valiant Leaping now.
I wonder what she's going to do.
Right? Valiant Leap is her third ability. So she has these really badass wings,
Whoa.
and this is something we thought would fit her super well from the very beginning. So she has a nice, big, heavy, long duration leap, and it's got a knock up on landing.
Now that is a knock up and not like her disperse. It keeps them in place, correct?
It is a
doesn't-
knock straight up.
It doesn't knock them around or anything like that. It's just straight up in the air.
On her's a squishier character. He's a hunter. A lot of times he does want to get people away from him.
true.
Nike is the opposite. She wants to close the gap. So when she lands on you, she's going to slow you down by knocking you straight up and let her get some attacks in on you.
So it literally is just a leap that knocks up.
Correct.
What does... Oh, I'm worried about saying this now. What does the empowered version do then?
It makes her leap faster.
Oh.
So that's what's really cool about it. It actually changes the timing of her travel time.
Okay.
So it's going to make it so you can, really close the gap on somebody really quick, or if you're having trouble hitting a character who's a really fast movement speed, it'll help you make sure you secure the CC on them.
And it still gives the knock up as well from that effect, right?
Yeah,
as you can see.
The only thing that changes with you get the bonus damage from plan of action, and you get the bonus travel time, the faster travel time.
Oh lord, I've just realized that the 2 empowers everything, and now I'm like, what's the ult gonna do? 'Cause
Oh,
whatever
just
the
wait
ult
and
does, it's
see.
gonna empower it as well, right?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
So, well, I guess, Matt, tell me what the name of the ult is and what exactly it does.
Okay, so the ultimate is called Sentinel of Zeus, and when she uses it, she transforms into her armored Sentinel version. So she gets this really cool helmet on her. She
That's
gets the
badass.
wings, extra effects, and she has this shiny effect on her. So just to show that she's in this form, so everyone knows, hey, she's changed. So when she casts this, she does a pulse outward that does damage and slow, and she gets a health shield. If you see on the health bar, she gets a percentage of her max health as a health shield.
A large health shield.
A
Yes,
percentage
very
of
big.
health.
Chunky.
Yes.
It is a big health shield.
I believe it is
40%.
40%
Correct. Yeah.
on that at base.
Base. Yeah.
What does... I don't want to ask. What does the empowered version do then?
It just enhances the shield and the slow to 60%.
Oh,
Oh,
on
look at
both.
that.
Yeah.
oh.
So she gets 60% health shield and slow as well.
I'm glad you buffed Tyr. Someone's going to be able to do it. Because, whoo, that's a big old shield. So the
So-
slow is increased as well as the shield
Correct,
amount that she
yeah.
gets
And
increased
the
too.
slow gets inflicted on the guys that get hit by the initial burst.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So one thing to note here is that it may sound, oh yeah, I definitely use it for the ultimate, but you're kind of using your 2 on one ability only in the battle.
Yeah.
Because of the cooldown on
Yeah.
it. So you have to choose wisely when you're, should I leap in faster? Should I use more damage on my 1, or should I actually use it on my ult?
I'm using my ult every time.
Yeah.
I want that 60% shield and 60% slam. I'm like, yes, give me that. I can just stay in battle. So the way you described it as well, Matt, is the fact that she goes to the back line, is very aggressive, and she can just stand and bang. That's the best thing she can do here. Like, she's a survivor more than anything else in these battles, where she doesn't have a lot of control, really. I mean, a knock-up's pretty good, but then if you use that for a knock-up, then you're not going to have the escapability by using the leap as well.
I mean,
you jump back there on their knocks or their new wah and just start crushing them till they're dead.
Yep, and you got the health shield, so even if they burn their ult on you, you're still alive.
I've got to say, the art team did amazing work again on the ultimate as well, where you can just see the mask come on and things. Like, she's like, yeah, let's go. Like, ready for battle.
Yeah, the helmet, she gets extra effects off her knees and elbows and wrists and her wings. It's just really cool looking.
Yeah, we had to do a couple of weird tricks to do that. It's kind of funny. We actually had to scale her hair down.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Slightly with a bone so that we could put the helmet on.
That's real game dev art right there.
Yeah,
you got to do some crazy stuff. But we had to do some crazy stuff to actually get the laurels to work on every god, too.
Yeah, kudos to Brian Sear.
Yeah, shout-outs.
For doing the manual labor required to get the laurels to work on the different gods.
It was not easy.
It definitely was not easy. And he did a great job
let's
doing
brush
it.
the dust off of this. What is this, head 01?
Yeah.
Does everyone have this?
No.
Can we attach something to it? And we were like, well, technically everyone has it, but some people have it in their pelvis.
Yeah, we've shot down this idea multiple times, actually, but with Nike, it fit her lore and her kits so well, we were like, we're just going to do the work for it.
Yeah,
so talk to me a little bit about her playstyle then, Matt, about how we expect it to be played. Is she going to be a solo laner? Can she jungle? Can she support a little bit? Like, where would you expect to see her played, and what kind of itemization are we expecting people to look at with this god?
I don't think she can be played support.
Okay.
And maybe she could if someone actually really understood her fully and figured out a way to do it. But in playtest, she's mostly being played in solo lane.
Okay.
A lot of people like to build her very aggressively, so they'll build like Witchblade, Frostbound, you know, the auto attack build, and they'll just go in and crush people in the back line.
I'm thinking health builds from my personal
I like to build her
standpoint
tanky.
now.
I like to build her tanky.
Like, if you're going to get a 60% health shield, that's why I'm like, max health. I'm like, maybe you go for full health build.
Yeah, and the beauty of that, you still have utility on you that you can help in team fights if you're not doing damage. You still have the protection strat, the disarm, the knockup, so...
Well, yeah, you go in and you start the combat, and then your teammates come in behind you while everyone's confused, and...
Right.
Yeah.
And you're just a wall, and you're like, how do I deal with this?
So our first look at Nike, she looks absolutely fantastic as well. Now she's going to be available at the PTS. AJ, do we know when?
Problem today or tomorrow? I know that's a Larson question always.
It's a Larson question.
Hi-res Chris. He will let us know soon.
Pon, are we doing the recolor?
We got to do the voice pack too.
We've got the voice pack, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we have a few other little extras to add about Nike as well.
Oh, we do?
I do.
Well, let's listen to the voice pack.
May glory be yours. My people's love is my strength. Magnificent. Join me, or allow me to join your head to the ground under my foot. Sit back and watch as I rout your defenses. You may learn a thing or two about war. I saw Poseidon the other day and I asked him, what's crackin'?
Oh, that's a good one.
Gosh.
That's a good one, dude.
Everyone keeps telling me to just do it. Do what?
Okay, that was good.
Gotta have it.
Matt is a killer voice pack writer, actually. He worked with me on Dubstep Yana. Still one of my favorite voice packs of all time. We did.
Oh, man.
We really killed that one. Yeah.
That was fun.
You were right, though. She sounds like a cross between Athena and Bellona in the voice pack as well here as well.
Yeah,
She's got a little bit of...
Yeah, get that music.
It's a nice contrast to the, I want you to do it.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
angry
good.
Bellona. Hold on, there's some extra features with her voice pack too, right?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Yes, so how does that work, Matt?
So it's still being worked out.
Okay.
But in her ultimate form, she'll have this angelic effect applied to her voice. I don't know if it's working. If you use your abilities, she should have like this booming voice overlaid on top instead. Yeah, so it's not in yet.
Okay.
But it will be.
So
this is part of the plan. Is
the
that
extra
she's
voice lines are going to be available when it goes live as well.
Correct.
Just
And
like the
this-
Camazotz voice
and
pack.
this deeper, booming, echoing voice that's not her normal one has this big after effects that's going to be used while she's in her ultimate form. It's very scary and or motivational, depending on which team you're on.
Chuck, I'm pretty sure you've had some good ideas about skins for this one as time goes on, right? Right? No?
Man,
We were just brainstorming skin ideas for her this
we
morning.
were just doing that.
I just had an
really?
idea. This is something that Chuck would be like, yo, we could do this with it. And then we're like, yeah, let's make it happen.
And then I'm like, yeah, Chuck's been on vacation.
Yeah, let's plan a whole bunch of stuff so he can freak out.
Chuck's like, I've got an idea. Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, here's a recolor with the hawk kind of wings.
Yes, yeah,
which are really cool.
Yeah, they do look really good.
And some darker brown red hair.
More that green motif on her as well.
Right, yeah, we really wanted to tie in the green because of the laurel wreaths, you know.
And we already had green kind of in the original color scheme, and we rarely have characters that are very green. I don't know if you knew that about SMITE.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and then the other idea was that
that's their skin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be funny. I was just like, which one's going to... I was thinking of green.
But that's still not a lot.
But who has green armor, you know?
And then the other thing was, you know, we wanted to kind of do this cool falcon wings pattern, which I thought turned out really awesome.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Fantastic. I'm excited to see how she ends up getting played, because I think she's going to have a lot to her as you play her. Like on a simple level, she's going to be very simple to play for newer players, but then as you get deeper into the nuances, yes, of the solo lane, and as you play in Warriors as well, you can find some interesting tricks.
She has a very interesting solo lane, you know, set of counters and checks and balances. Like her Rend, her main lane clear ability, is not knock-up immune or CC immune, so you can cancel that out real well if you're a real smart solo laner, and then you need to learn to play against it. Like I just got stomped by Hades in playtest yesterday, silencing me out of it, and I didn't recover quick enough and start relying on my cleave attacks, which I should have been. So you really got to play to your opponent. There's a lot of cool little tricks you can do. And
Naruto does have CC immunity, but it's only a very short duration now, just for the casts. So you'd have to play around that carefully. Like you could get Ares pulled if you mistime it, or you'd have to really be careful about your controlling fights.
And as an Amaterasu player, I'm excited about it because it's got that same kind of like, I'm going to go in there and just start mixing it up, you know? So.
And you can silence her out of Rend.
Why'd you gotta release her weakness?
I mean,
like,
she's got so many strengths too. You know, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, to be fair, she'll just auto attack with cleaves. It'll be okay.
Exactly.
And then leap on the wave anyway, and be like,
leaping on the wave. No, that'll get you killed.
Yeah, well, you never know. I just pop a shield then and be like, it's okay.
I guess so.
We're good. Do we have time for Q&A at all this week?
Oh, we got some. Yeah, we definitely got some
questions. Okay, cool. Hopefully, some Q&A questions should be ready. We can answer these before we look to close out the show. So, first Q&A question is from Mr. Gaben Watch. What is the biggest thing you are working on as we move into Season 4? What is the main goal of Season 4? Ranked improvements? Question mark. AJ, so, you can take all of these.
I know. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about Season 4, but I can't say too much yet. We're still working on it, but what I did want to make sure to answer this question is that we're going to have a lot of changes. I mean, remember Season 3, we did so much item and god balance, and there was Conquest gameplay changes, and you can expect a lot of stuff like that. We're working on Conquest gameplay changes.
Okay.
We've got lots of god balance lots of item changes, new items, new item passives, a lot of relic changes.
Okay.
Lots of changes. And we are definitely looking at ranked improvements. You're going to see some changes to the ranked system, the season ticket system. I'm really excited.
Season ticket as well?
Yeah.
Just adding that one in there. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's that one thing that every time you talk about it, everybody goes, what?
I mean, that is true. I can't say anything about that yet, but you know, I mean, the other thing, of course, about Season 4 is one that we already announced is the Celtic Pantheon.
Yeah.
So,
why do we leak that so early?
I mean, because
what's that about?
Building hype.
Throw it on a tweet.
I know. That's. I mean,
we do
it's
all
awesome.
these shows, and you're like, nah, just stick it on Twitter on a tweet. Let's look at
that's
this.
The fun thing about
Celtic Pantheon.
That's one of the fun things about Hi-Rez. We spoil different things in different places all the time. So you know, you want to follow different things, watch our videos, so Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. But yeah, we made the announcement Celtic Pantheon, so that'll obviously be there in Season 4.
I wonder who will be the first god available. I'm excited.
No spoilers on that yet, but keep posted towards HRX. You'll get a lot of really great information going towards then. We're going to make some really cool videos that highlight that.
Awesome. Next question then, please, is going to be from Fuse Mental. Will Hell be received a buff change? Changa. And could we see a possible announcer pack for her in the future?
Sounds like two announcer packs, am I right?
Yeah. So, no, I know.
It
is two announcer packs. Just like everything with Hell is it's two things, but... actually, Pawn did a really good blurb on Reddit about balancing and our process and our goals. And Hell, he mentioned on there is one that we're really looking at, and we're going to take some time on her, make some more significant, like at least Cupid level changes, maybe something more like Zeus level, and that's going to be happening early Season 4.
Okay.
So Hell's definitely going to be seeing some changes. It's definitely on our list of things to do, just not for a little while longer. And I love the suggestion for the announcer pack. I think she's a really interesting character, and I personally love the God announcer pack. So I'm glad we're doing Chalk.
I like that.
I think we should do more God announcer packs in Season 4 anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
So
it would be sweet if you randomized it, so the announcements were one of the two hells.
Oh,
know?
yeah,
She's
yeah.
either like, you did so good, or like, I'm going to melt your face.
Yeah, we could actually do 2 whole announcer packs with a hell announcer pack, and then when you get, you know, first blood, you never know if it's going to be angry hell or nice hell.
I guess.
Or when you die, she's either like, oh, sorry, or, you know, she's
Yeah, like, way to suck, kid.
I like the idea of when you do something good, she's in the good voice, like, good job, team, you're great. And then when you lose, you're like, you suck ass, like the whole time. That's my view of that one anyway.
So, you know, keep making threads and tweets and stuff, and let us know which gods you think would make the best voice packs, because I think they're great, and I think we should do some more.
What other questions do we have? Let's find out. It's going to be, Steve. Any more gods for 2016?
Dun, dun, dun.
So, are we doing any more gods this year, Matt, or what about Nike?
No.
Nike is the last god this year.
Nike is the last
She is
god
our
this year,
December
officially.
goddess. Yeah, you will see a new god in season 4.
Now, we're going to mention something about Nike as well. From what I understand, is the plan with Nike, from what I believe, is that she will be available in ranked at the start of next patch.
And this is what I wanted to talk about too. Yes.
Yeah.
So, we want to make sure Nike is available at the SWC.
Right.
At HRX, Nike is going to be a viable choice.
Okay.
So we're going to speed up her process. So normally we wait until the next god comes out before they go to ranked. Nike is going to go to ranked as soon as 324 launches. So in 2 weeks, Nike will go to ranked.
And if there's anything in this current iteration of Nike that hits live, and then we'll change it in the next
right.
patch.
And 324 is going to be a very small balancing patch, right? We don't want to throw people off right before the World Championship. So 324 will include maybe some balance tweaks to Nike, depending on her stats, and anything else that we think is a catastrophic issue, or only if it's very large problem, something that goes wildly awry.
Okay,
will be small balance patch and Nike to ranked as soon as possible. That will give the pros a proper amount of time, 2 weeks in ranked and an additional week before Worlds to prepare with her on their actual teams.
Okay.
So
awesome.
So be prepared to scrim with and against Nike.
Right. That's for you guys at home as well. I think a lot of people would be interested to see how Nike does, or whether she ends up in the ban list as well. That could be a possibility. We'll find out.
We'll see.
Everyone thinks everyone thinks new things are OP most of the time, man.
I know, and everyone thinks new gods are OP, but historically this year, our new gods haven't been too OP.
Well, to be fair, most people, they have been OP, but no one's realized it until like 3 months later.
I mean, not
That's
every
true,
god is
sometimes.
going to be release Bologna. You know?
That's true. Thank God.
Release Bologna, release Nike at Worlds.
goal.
Yeah. That's the plan anyway.
Get ready.
Do you have any other questions left?
Oh, there's a couple more.
There is. Okay, why are you introducing the Celtic pantheon when there are so few gods in the Japanese pantheon?
You really nailed,
AJ!
you nailed the tone there. You nailed the tone. This is a good question, and
It is a good question. Why is it?
There's a couple things. So the first thing is because the Celtic pantheon is cool and
is
fun,
true.
and we want to end the game. And people are concerned about the Japanese, and don't worry, we're still going to be making Japanese gods. The Japanese Guardian is very high on a priority list.
Oh yeah.
I know
We were
Hi-Res
just
Chris has
talking
been
about that
sending some
today.
tweets about how stoked he is for the god list
I'm
next
excited.
year. They're crazy awesome. So, you know, there's definitely going to be some Celtic gods and some Japanese gods, but there will still be plenty of your old favorites. I guarantee you there will be a Hindu, a Chinese, a Greek on the roster for next year. Some of them are still up in the air, but we're going to see some new.
Did you just guarantee a Hindu god for next year?
I did.
Really did?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited now.
Yes. So, don't worry. We want to make sure we can add cool new stuff to the game when we want to, and it's always going to be adding, and we're going to always make sure we balance between new pantheons and old.
Basically, stop complaining, okay? You get Celtic, you get Japanese. It's win-win, right? You want more, you get more. Next question. Move on.
Kids.
Will there be a Celtic event like Rising Dawn early in Season 4?
There will definitely be a Celtic event. I don't know how much like Rising Dawn it will be, but it will definitely be
So
a
they're having a
Celtic
Celtic
event.
event.
We don't want to say too much,
Okay.
but yes.
It's going to have new things that we haven't done before in events. So, I mean, we always try to do that, but so it kind of goes without saying.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Next question.
Keep your eyes peeled for that.
Any plans on a big superhero and on a big superheroes and villains skin theme?
Yeah, what do you think about this theme, Chuck? We just did Captain Quick Mercury. How do you think it worked out?
Captain Quick was cool. You know, and we have certain cases where we have some superhero type inspiration on particular gods, right? Like a little bit of Terra, a little bit of Mercury. And so definitely it's something that we'll continue to consider, and we've definitely made some short-term plans to have more superhero.
More villain ones. I'm down for more
maybe.
villains than superheroes.
I was
maybe.
trying to pitch a supervillain skin not that long ago. I don't remember who it was for.
Yeah, I do.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Was it a good
we're
idea?
gonna do it.
Oh, cool.
Are you going to do it?
Oh, yeah, that one's going to be good, I think.
What was it?
I can't tell you.
So we are doing it.
It's way down the line.
Chat,
We were
I'm trying.
just pitching it.
I'm
How do you
trying.
feel about heroes and villains themed, Matt?
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
know,
that
huge
Mercury
potential
skin
for
is
it.
really cool.
I think it
really
turned out
awesome.
really well.
Yeah.
I'm generally more of a fantasy guy. I like, you know, the classic video game archetypes, but superhero. There's a lot of people that love superheroes and supervillains, so we're definitely keeping an eye out for
Movie
it.
theaters. I mean, there's a huge thing
so
right now.
hot right now.
Right? Like
They are.
So hot, Ryan.
They are.
So hot.
Marvel
right
movie.
now.
Very true.
Yeah,
Those movies, they're killing it.
Well, with that, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you on the show once again. 3.23 will be out on Tuesday next week, all being
Are
well.
we going to talk about our favorite things?
I was about to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your favorite thing?
I mean, Tier 5 Anubis. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't wait.
Really?
Yes, it's amazing.
Really?
man.
It's one of my favorite gods of all time since always, too. So I'm
Yeah.
just like so stoked.
Matt, I know you were heavily involved in the design of Nike, but what do you think about her? Do you think she's the best thing in the patch?
I want her to be OP. No, no.
That's a real designer there. There we go.
I'm excited
He
to
showed
see
his face
everyone's builds and see what they do with her because I think she has a lot of versatility. You can do two different things with her.
What about you, Chuck?
Yeah.
Matt wants her to be so just OP enough that she doesn't get banned in every game.
That's really what
Right,
every
right.
designer
I want to
wants,
see her
right?
in Worlds.
Yeah,
That's
we want
for
to see him
sure.
play.
Yeah,
For sure,
That's what
Chuck,
everybody
this
wants,
patch.
yeah.
Best
You
thing.
know, I'm looking forward to playing Anubis, and I'm looking forward to Nike because I've been on a big warrior kick, and I'm
Okay.
excited to have a new one to play around with. So it's difficult to describe. I don't like rating things in relevance to each other.
Well,
Oh.
it's been a pleasure to have you all on the show. 3.23. Obviously, keep an eye on Twitter and Reddit, as well as our forums to keep an eye on when the patch will come out, and well as the PTS, so you guys go and test. But for the time being, have a great day.
Great.